Hello and good morning.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Welcome to Let's Talk About Us. I'm Zach, and today we're covering a mainline news story. This is from Associated Press. Associated Press has 2 lean left ratings as well as a central rating, a high factuality rating as well as a very high factuality rating, and it is independently owned. In South Korea, nations meet in final round to address global plastic crisis. By Jennifer McDermott. Posted this morning. Negotiators gathered in Busan, South Korea on Monday in a final push to create a treaty to address the global crisis of plastic pollution. It's the 5th time the world's nations convened to craft a legally binding plastic pollution accord. In addition to the national delegations, representatives from the plastic industry, scientists, and environmentalists have come to shape how the world tackles the surging problem.
We'll tackle them together.
We must end plastic pollution before plastic pollution ends us, Kim Won-sup, South Korea's Minister of Environment, said during the opening session. The planet is choking on plastic, according to the United Nations. It's polluting lakes, rivers, oceans, and people's bodies. Don't kick the can or the plastic bottle down the road, UN Environment Program Executive Director Inger Anderson said in a message to negotiators. This is an issue about the intergenerational justice of those generations that will come after us and be living with all this garbage.
I come out, I throw trash all over the ring.
We can solve this, and we must get it done in Busan, she said in an interview. The previous 4 global meetings have revealed sharp differences in goals and interests. This week's talks go through Saturday. Led by Norway and Rwanda, 66 countries plus the European Union say they want to address the total amount of plastic on Earth by controlling design, production, consumption, and where plastic ends up. The delegation from the hard-hit island nation of Micronesia helped lead an effort to call for more attention to unsustainable plastic production, called the Bridge to Busan. Island nations are grappling with vast amounts of other countries' plastic waste washing up on their shores. We think it's the heart of the treaty, to go upstream and to get the problem at its source, said Dennis Clare, legal advisor and plastic negotiator for Micronesia. There's a tagline: you can't recycle your way out of this problem. Some plastic producing and oil and gas countries, including Saudi Arabia, disagree.
Really? I would have never guessed that.
They vigorously oppose any limits on plastic manufacturing. Most plastic is made from fossil fuels. Saudi Arabia is the world's largest exporter of primary polypropylene, a common type of plastic, accounting for an estimated 17% of exports last year, according to the Plastic Industry Association. China, the United States, and Germany led the global plastics trade by exports and imports in 2023, the association said. The plastic industry has been advocating for a treaty focused on redesigning plastic products, recycling, and reuse, sometimes referred to as circularity. Chris Young, International Council of Chemical Associations Secretariat, said negotiators should focus on ending plastic waste in the environment, not plastic production, to get a deal. Many countries won't join a treaty if it includes production caps, he said. To continue to progress and grow as a global economy, there are going to be more plastics, Jan added. So we should strive then to keep those plastics in the economy and out of the environment, Jan said. Yeesh. Where was this picture taken? Oh, this is from Brazil, okay. Really? Brazil? Brazil has this going on. I'd have never thought that. The United States delegation at first said countries should develop their own plans to act, a position viewed as favoring industry. It changed its position this summer, saying the U.S. is open to considering global targets for reductions in plastic production. Environmental groups accused the U.S. of backtracking as negotiations approached. Center for Coalfield Justice Executive Director Sarah Martique said the United States is standing on the sidelines rather than leading, putting their thumb on the scale throughout the entirety of the negotiation. She hopes this does not derail other countries' ambitions. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency released a national strategy to prevent plastic pollution Thursday, but Martique said she thinks too many of the measures are voluntary to make a difference. Democratic U.S. Senator Jeff Merkley of Oregon said it's a mistake for the United States to settle for the lowest common denominator proposals just to get some kind of agreement. Luis Valles Valdivieso, the committee chair from Ecuador, recently proposed text for sections where he thinks the delegations could agree. The production and use of plastics globally is set to reach 736 million tons by 2040.
This is a lot of garbage.
Up 70% from 2020, without policy changes, according to the Intergovernmental Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. Research published in Science this month found it is still possible to nearly end plastic pollution. The policies that make the most difference are mandating new products be made with 40% post-consumer recycled plastic, limiting new plastic production to 2020 levels, investing significantly in plastic waste management, such as landfills and waste collection services, and implementing a small fee on plastic packaging. In Cuba? Okay. It is a nice car, though. I do like, thank you for the descriptor there, Associated Press. A classic American car drives past garbage in Havana, Cuba. The treaty is the only way to solve plastic pollution at this scale, said Douglas Macaulay, professor at UC Santa Barbara and UC Berkeley. Macaulay co-led the research. Margaret Spring, Chief Conservation Science Officer for Monterey Bay Aquarium, said plastic pollution used to be considered largely a waste problem. Now it is widely viewed as an existential crisis that must be addressed, said Spring, who represents the International Science Council at the negotiations.
This is a crisis.
I've never seen people's understanding of this issue move as fast given how complex the topic is, she said. It gives me hope that we can actually start moving the dial. The Associated Press climate and environmental coverage receives financial support from multiple private foundations. AP is solely responsible for all content. Find AP stands for Working with Philanthropies, a list of supporters and funded coverage areas at ap.org. And there's Jennifer McDermott again. All right, that's the end of the article. Like the fact that we live in a society and on a planet that has places that look like this because of actions that we're taking, that's disgusting to me. That's like a failure at a fundamental level to me. That we are creating areas of the planet that look like this. And I think that's what it's going to take to kind of wake people out of their stupor, is showing them, like, hey, maybe don't buy all that plastic you've been buying. Maybe try to like bring your own bags or whatever to the grocery store if that's all you can do. Like, and you know, for a lot of people, it's not an option, right? Because their grocery store is just all they have is stuff that's in plastic. But we gotta do something, man. Because that shit is gross. Like, that's just gross. And we are helping and we're contributing to it. It's disgusting. Anyway. This has been Let's Talk About Us. I'm Zach. And you all have a good rest of your Monday. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
See you tomorrow.